Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we find ourselves currently stalled out, not for any logistical reasons, not for any military reasons, but rather, we're currently stalled for diplomatic reasons. We're currently working on a war justification on Peru, and we should definitely also get to work on moving some of these fancy new divisions that we're recruiting. They're not that fancy. They're exactly the same as our other divisions. But these fancy new divisions we are going to bring over to Inca. Of course, we are still well on our way. We're arrayed over here, but we're still laying out over here. So we've got some time before we want to declare on Inca. That said, we should definitely be justifying on them if we're not already. Yeah, we already are. Perfect. I thought so. The independence of Inca is guaranteed by Brazil. Well, Brazil doesn't exist anymore, so we don't care. So we are on our way. We're almost done justifying against Peru here. Free India is kind of floating around out here. Hang on, are these guys in the war? Santiago down here? No. Okay. I'm not sure what Free India is planning here. Who controls this? They're in the alliance of Pratiharas. Maybe Free India is looking to take some of these islands. More power to them if they are. I'm 100% okay with them doing that. Now, Peru has a numerical advantage on us over here. That's completely fine. Logistically, we are more than fine here, so it's just a matter of time until we manage to push in through Peru. They can't keep up with us in terms of our infrastructure and our factory output. That's the term I'm looking for. Excellent. So that's the idea there, and we will have our justification against them done in just 2 days. So that'll be very soon. Of course, we still need more rubber and more steel and more chromium. Okay, justification of conquering Lima is now complete. I want to check to see if we need to construct any infrastructure over here. And in fact, there is a little bit to be constructed. What about civilian factories in this area? Nope, that all looks good. Okay. So, constructing the infrastructure should probably be a pretty high priority right now. So we'll do something along the lines of that. They're going to have a hard time pushing into us, even if we exhaust ourselves here, because we have reasonably high-level land forts in these areas. We've been working on that. And so we are simply going to declare on these guys. The Republic of Suriname is guaranteeing Peru. Oh no. Anyway. Okay. So these guys over here, their mission is, of course, to push to the sea. And so we will simply set up the offensive line to be right like that. That's their goal. And they can go ahead and attack, and they can do it aggressively. They've called in Peru. Yeah, that's expected. Anybody else going to join? Inca? Nope, not Inca. I'm actually surprised to see that we're already winning this. It's going to be a long grind, right? But we expect that. That was always going to be the case. And we're going to declare on Inca relatively soon as well. As far as that goes, these guys, honestly, their offensive line is simply... not that. I missed. Their offensive line is simply to push to the sea as well. Pretty much that is their offensive line. Close enough. Close enough. As far as these guys over here, I'm hoping that Peru falls before we declare on Inca, but I don't know that that's going to be the case. They've been able to stockpile weapons for a long time, after all. And it's not like they're super short on manpower. Like, last I checked, yeah, they've got 2 to 3 million manpower. It's an impressive amount, given their size, actually. Considering that we've only got about 27 million available right now. Of course, we have quite a few levels of conscription that we could bring up. And we're just going to continue working on exhausting them. I expect us to see losses over here for a while. We're just going to continue pushing in. And we're just going to attrition them to death. We don't need to worry at all about our supplies. So we're just going to say, you know what? We are by far the bigger economy, and we're going to use that to our advantage. This division can go ahead and move down to this army. Excellent. That is going very, very well indeed. If we, by some miracle, manage to take this base, but get stalled out trying to cross this river, we could always theoretically drop paratroopers over here as well. To that end, I'm going to tell these paratroopers to do an area defense. Not here, but here. So they will get to moving over here eventually. And that'll be fine. Excellent. Of course, we have no research to be doing at this point. We're just trying to push in. We're currently losing this, and we expect to, right? Like, we have no mountaineers. This is jungle over here, so mountaineers aren't actually relevant yet, but they will be over here. It's going to be tough to push Peru out of here. But we're just going to grind them down over time. That's the entire goal there. In the meantime, of course, we are working on our Inca justification. And we are still 120 days away from that. So that'll be a while, but probably around the end of this episode, I would guess. Somewhere around in there. We'll move these guys on over to that line. Perfect. No orders assigned. This army apparently was not assigned with this army group. Okay, noted. That is actually the case. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to go ahead and put in a new front line here, because we put in that army before we put in this, or we put in that order before we put this army into this army group. So that makes sense. These guys should now be on their way, and indeed they are. Fantastic. So we're just going to slowly work on pushing into Peru, and you can see here their numbers are declining. They may be falling back for supply purposes, but they can't keep up with this onslaught forever. Unlike us. We absolutely can keep this up forever. There's no concerns here. Like, we have no problem. We're just going to very slowly push our way in. After all, we control all of Europe, except for this little bit of the Netherlands. Speaking of which, there's still our dominion. We need 289. I want to figure out how this mechanic works. The subject states in this game. Because I would love to start working on annexing some of our subjects, if we can. Let's see here. Yeah, I realize we have free civilian factories. I'm not too concerned about that right now. I mean, we could continue improving relations with them, but we're kind of maxed. So that's a thing. They cannot become a sphereling yet because they need 289 more of these chess pieces. And the question is, what exactly is that? Perhaps in here? Manage subjects. Okay, so we can see Ethiopian Netherlands is actually a collaboration government currently. We need 83 to promote, 83 out of 100. Active attachés. Or actually, that's 1,000. Okay. So attachés, lend leasing to subject, lend leasing to overlord, autonomy effect from master building. Okay. Fascinating. So, based on what I was reading there, we don't currently have the command power for the attaché, and the reason for that is because we are still supplying the Amazon, which is not something that we should currently be doing. Let's have these guys no longer be supplying. Like, stop that. And that gives us our command power. And who was it that we wanted to work on first? 210, 265 for America, but America is not exactly existing right now. And then there's these guys. Okay, so there's Netherlands, there's these guys, there's America, which doesn't exist currently, and there is Oh, there's Netherlands and Ethiopian Netherlands. Those are two different things. So this one is Netherlands. This one is Netherlands. This one is Netherlands. And this one is Netherlands. But there's an Ethiopian Netherlands collaboration government, apparently. Interesting. Regardless, we're going to send an attaché to these guys. Their autonomy daily gain minus 0.05. Okay, so is that good for us annexing or bad for us annexing? We will find out. Okay, so there's an attaché over there. So if we check Netherlands then, effects on autonomy, active attachés, minus 0.10. So that is their autonomy. Subject contributed. But we need 500 points to become a sphereling? Oh, and then we can downgrade them to a colony. I see. Okay, that makes sense. Fantastic. So we can work on that while we're very slowly working on pushing into Peru. Just incredibly slowly working on this. You can see that they have a fair amount of troops in retreat, though. They're lacking supplies, so that is a fantastic sign for us. I'm very, very happy to see that, and I'm also glad now that I understand how the Dominion system works. That is a very, very good thing to understand. So this will just very slowly drain away, and then we'll bump them down to a colony. Once they're a colony, I wonder if we'll be able to annex them at that point. Similarly to this. These guys would cost 50 to send an attaché there. More ground crews in the Amazonas. We could actually do that. Where are our more ground crews set up? Let's get rid of that. Fantastic. And this is just the Ethiopian Netherlands, right? But we're going to send them an attaché. And I'm just wondering, where do they actually exist? Regardless, they have an attaché there now, and we're going to be able to bump them down relatively quickly, so that is great. We're actually winning this battle now at this point, as expected. It's just a matter of grinding our way across. They're now in retreat. We're going to have a hard time crossing this river, but it shouldn't be a problem unless this enters a different supply zone, which it may. If this enters a different supply zone, this is going to be interesting. And it looks to me like it will. So we're going to potentially have a supply choke here. But we're not going to have any problem pushing them back right now. Absolutely none. So our command power is going to be what it is for now. And yeah, we have free civilian factories. This is to be expected. I'm actually completely okay with this. I want to be working on repairs whenever possible. So freeing these up is actually a very good thing for us. Excellent. So we're going to push our way in here, and we should be able to take these guys out. I mean, they're shuffling back in and trying to resupply back here and then coming back to the front. It's not going to be effective for them, because they just can't keep this up. This division will go ahead and get assigned into this army. Excellent. And as far as these guys go, they are slowly making their way to the front lines. And we can see there's still a fair number of them coming in over here. So we're not in any rush to declare on Inca just yet. But the idea here is that this is also going to just be a push to annex all of this. And then these guys, we are not at war with them. And we may want to justify against them. But I think I'm going to hold off on that. I expect that it'll take some time to push across Inca. The question is how much time. They have basically no manpower. If we go in here. Okay, their manpower has come up. Fair enough. But we... Oh, this is saying they have 2,000 manpower. Oh, this is their army intel. Their deployed army is about 70 to 150k. I gotcha. Fantastic. So their manpower is super low, and it would appear that their borders are not well defended. So we kind of do want to declare on them whenever possible. And we want to set up our offensive line here as basically just being a push to the sea. Around these guys. Let's back off a little bit there. Close enough. I think I missed a couple islands there, but that'll be fine. And we want this guy to aggressively attack. Excellent. So it would appear that Ojibwa troops are reinforcing over here, but that's fine. I'm just wondering why all of our troops... Oh, we pushed them. Of course, I'm a moron. We pushed them to here, so let's check our logistics. Okay. We're fine for now. But the supplies over here are going to be a little bit on the rough side. We're definitely going to have a hard time pushing them across this river, I think, but we just want to keep this up. Just keep the pressure on. They cannot keep up with us in terms of our production. In the meantime, let's check in on Ethiopia Netherlands. Okay, that active attaché is not going super quickly. Overlord lend leasing to subject. We could lend lease them convoys. That is a lot of autonomy reduction. Let's just send them 100 convoys for right now. They accept. Fantastic. And who is that we sent that to? Maybe it builds up. Subject lend leasing to Overlord. Okay. Or maybe it requires... It may have to build up. It will lower their autonomy. That is what we want. I can see that we're making some progress over here. We do have access to this airbase, and that's fine. Our allies are actually piling planes in there. I'm just going to be lazy and not do any of our own for now. Okay, so let's see if that's actually reducing our autonomy right now. It doesn't appear to be. It could be that... The tooltip said that convoys would. It could be that it takes time. Okay, Peru just capitulated. That is great. So we're going to kick these guys right on out of here. Finish this up. They have no way to get supplies to these guys. And Ojibwa's going to lose these modern tank this modern tank brigade. I was going to say destroyers, but I think that's just regular modern tanks, sir. Excellent. So Peru capitulated. That is fantastic for us. I do want to start construction of naval bases on this shoreline. Let's get going on those. I'm not too concerned about how quickly they get done, although I'm not sure why I can't scroll with the scroll bar right now. Okay, there we go. I'm not too concerned about how quickly they get done. They'll get done when they get done, and that's fine. Okay, so we pushed in here, and it looks like... I'm going to actually re-array this. Boop. Get rid of that and that. Excellent. In fact, we're just going to delete all orders, and we're going to put in a brand new front line across the entire border, just like that. That does, of course, mean that we're going to have to do a new offensive line, but that's not particularly challenging, considering that it's just head over to the shore. And I'm going to unpause the game while drawing this. There's no point in having it paused right now. Close enough. Yeah, this is a little awkward over here, but they'll probably capitulate by the time that happens, if I'm honest. Okay, how long until Inca is ready to be declared on? Still another 53 days. Okay. I'm going to start justifying on Santiago. Excellent. I mean, we already fully control 2 continents. We need to add another one for our collection. It'll be great, I assure you. Okay, let's take a look at our naval map mode. Yeah, things are getting pushed back a little bit here. That's definitely a concern. And that's mostly, I think, because we're lacking in steel and chromium. But the question is there any steel and chromium over here? There is some, and there's a fair amount of oil, which we don't really need. Steel is nice. Tungsten. I don't think we need tungsten, do we? No, we're doing fine on tungsten. The steel is something that we definitely want. Can we do any additional resource prospecting? That is a negative. Okay. Well, that's fine. Our deployments over here are going reasonably well. It'll just take a little bit of time to get a raid, and we have plenty of time. So that's great. Let's check in on our subjects then, and see if we're getting that Lend-Lease yet. No, we're not. Okay, well, they'll get decayed eventually via active attachés, but that's going to take a while. I'm wondering if we can pile 2 attachés into one region to make it go faster. But even if not, this is completely fine. So yeah, we definitely want to work on crushing these guys' autonomy a little bit. Subject contributed to war score, and subject exporting to Overlord. That's fine. Those will go away easily enough. Just give it a little time. This division can hop in over here, and that of course means that we now have 3 full armies on this front. Free civilian factories is not a concern. They'll just be put towards repairs. Oh, I suppose we should probably also check to see if we can build infrastructure in this region. We cannot. Good to know. Okay. Wonderful. Well, Inca. I'm not sure who that Free State... Oh, that's these guys. Okay. Fine. We're justifying against them. Yeah, that'll be just fine. Guaranteed by Brazil. Very rude. We should actually check on the status of the war here. So, I mean, we've lost a little bit more in terms of manpower than they have. But honestly, we don't care. It's completely irrelevant to us. Right now, we're busily banking manpower, so that's fine. We're growing about 60k per month. Fantastic. We should probably consider addressing the situation here. The North Atlantic Ridge, who is assigned to this? These guys are moving to Hudson Bay. They're active in 2 regions. Just stay in the North Atlantic, please. Okay. There we go. Perfect. This task force, I'm not sure what the point behind this task force is. We are going to go ahead and bump that up to 99. I'm not going to assign these to anything yet, though. I want to allow them to reinforce first. We'll bring this up to 99 as well, and this one up to 99, and allow it to reinforce. Excellent. Now, this one is apparently holding position in the North Atlantic Ridge. It should be set to patrol the North Atlantic Ridge. Excellent. These guys here are currently docked. They're active in a region, but they are looking for reinforcement, it looks like. Bump that right on up. These guys are holding position in the North Atlantic Ridge. We're going to move those over to the Labrador Sea, and we're going to have them set to patrol. Excellent. These guys here. They're going to need additional submarines, and for now, we'll just not assign them to anything so that they can reinforce up a bit. Same with these guys. Excellent. And in the South Atlantic, we are attempting to reinforce our subs over there as well. We're probably going to want to consider... I mean, we need more steel, is all there is to it. Without having more military factories. That's what it comes down to. That said, we have most of our submarine dockyards ready to go. We're just lacking steel on some of them. So that is noted, and we will do something about that At a time that is in the future, in theory. Who holds this? Brazil? So Brazil still exists. Fascinating. Okay. Well, that's completely fine. All we're doing at this point is waiting on our war justification, and that's 20 days away at this point. So we should have Inca under control by then. I really don't believe we'll have a hard time pushing through Inca. Honestly, Peru went better than I expected. So I'm reasonably happy about that. The Lend-Lease... Oh, actually, they're down to 14 here. Yeah, the Lend-Lease is building up over time. It just took time for it to get there. Excellent. We're also going to do a Lend-Lease then to the Netherlands, and we're going to do a similar sort of thing. We're going to Lend-Lease them convoys, and we're going to Lend-Lease them a full 1,000 convoys. That is 700 autonomy. And once those arrive, that'll be great. I'm also going to talk to Ethiopian Netherlands here, modify their Lend-Lease, and move that up to 100. I don't think they can actually utilize that much, though, because it dropped to 7. So we'll see what they actually are able to do. Regardless, that's still a substantial drop in their autonomy. So I'm very happy to see that. So these guys are currently a collaboration government, and we want to change their autonomy level to annexed. And we need 13 more to do that. That's fine. Or 13 less autonomy. That'll take a little bit of time. By the time we're done crushing Inca, we should have absolutely no problem with that. Yep, just a few more days here. About a week. Excellent. I would absolutely love to... I mean, we could be working on this economic policy, I suppose. Any owned state that has not already received an extra building slot from infrastructure would... It would just be Slavonia? Oh, whatever. What else are we going to spend this political power on? And Turkmenia. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I guess we can just consistently do. That is reducing our stability and our war support, though. Which we should definitely consider. Okay, these guys, they're going to need to have a new army. And I'm going to put them in a new army, but we're not going to tell them to do anything just yet. Because they're not going to get down here in time for us to reset up this line. And I don't really want to. So we can declare on Inca. And Brazil would join them. We don't care. Execute. Okay, they joined the Alliance of Pratiharis. That's fine. We're actually right by their capital, and we've already pushed them back. Like, Inca is going to be crushed. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to finish crushing Inca. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.